This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 5.
Icy, wintry drizzle is making its way out of the South Plains following a morning of dangerous driving conditions that caused more than 100 wrecks. Good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Shaley Sanders in for Christy Harton. John is tracking the break and freezing temperatures. He joins us now with the very latest. John.
Tell you what, Shaley, at least we've gotten a little sunshine around portions of the South Plains, the western South Plains. Looking at some breaks in those clouds, but overall we've got more clouds coming back. Looking at the Doppler radar, you can see the band of clouds drifting east. However, they are already starting to return to the western South Plains, so we probably see most of our sunshine from Lubbock, Plainview back west, and those clouds will filter in overall tonight, bring back some fog as well, maybe some drizzle. In fact, still looking at a possibility at least some drizzle tonight and some isolated freezing drizzle, especially along the cap rocks. So be aware of that if you're traveling very late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Checking our temperatures around our region. Nice warm up out west, 52 in Muleshoe, 51 in Plains, but look at Lubbock sitting at 50 degrees. That's a nice temperature. You go east, you find 37 in Guthrie, 37 in Snyder, 36 in Matador, but all of the South Plains, fortunately, at this point is above the freezing mark. That will change overnight. Temperatures for this evening, we will be back in the low 40s in Lubbock by 7 o'clock. Clouds working their way back in. I've got 0 on precipitation chances there, but there may be some drizzle edging back into the Lubbock area as early as 10 to 11 o'clock, but temperatures will be above freezing, well above freezing at that point. Looking ahead, temperatures at night staying chilly, but warmer in the afternoon, Shaley.
Okay, thanks so much, John. Well, since 2 a.m., the Lubbock Police Department says officers have responded to nearly 200 crashes. 42 of those crashes did have injuries, but fortunately nothing serious. KCBD News Channel 11's Matt Ruiz joins us now with the very latest. Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Shaley. These wrecks didn't only affect people trying to get to work and school, they also affected those doing their jobs. First responders faced a dangerous task in the morning hours today as they answered calls regarding crashes throughout Lubbock due to icy road conditions. Unfortunately for some, they became part of the crashes.
It's very dangerous for the first responders that are out there, including police, fire, and EMS, due to the fact that we're stopped and stationary on the shoulder of the road. And so a lot of times people have a misconception of depth or perception that the vehicle is moving or not moving. So therefore it becomes very dangerous for even the officers.
And KCBD also sat down with the owner of Mako Collision Repair about today's incidents. Coming up at 6, we've got the full story.
Okay, thanks so much, Matt. Scary moments again in Levelland after another school bomb threat was made. Emergency responders gave the all clear at Levelland Middle School at 1:40 this afternoon after no credible threat was found. The Lubbock County Sheriff's Office bomb squad searched the building for explosives or suspicious devices but found nothing. Authorities say the bomb threat was written on a note found in the school. Developing news from Washington, D.C. A day after President Trump met with victims of the school shootings, he spoke with state and local leaders about the issue. We are also hearing strong words pushing back from the NRA. Edward Lawrence has all sides of this gun control debate.
Well, good evening, Shaley. The president says he has been on the phone with lawmakers having frank discussions about gun control, something that would have been impossible just a few weeks ago.
There was a mistake made. We know that. But it is our job to make sure that we do everything in our power to ensure that does not happen again.
Today, the FBI is talking about the missed steps and failed protocol following the mass high school shooting in Florida. The acting director spoke on the possible steps to ensure a tragedy does not happen again.
And it is our job to do everything in our power. Number one, to look through the holdings of what we currently have to make sure we don't have anything else like that in our holdings, which we're working through. And number two, to ensure that going forward, we put into place a very strong process to ensure that that cannot happen again.
This all comes after the FBI admitted that a person close to the confessed Florida high school shooter, Nicholas Cruz, contacted the Bureau back in January and reported concerns he had about Cruz and his quote, desire to kill people. A Houston area school superintendent warned students they would be suspended if they took part in walkouts happening across the U.S. in protest of gun violence. The viral post has since been deleted, but the Spring ISD superintendent warned, quote, they will be suspended from school for 3 days and face all the consequences that come along with an out-of-school suspension. Life is all about choices, and every choice has a consequence. We will discipline no matter if it is 150 or 500 students involved. Those opposing the post say the students have the right to peaceful protest, while other parents argue that school is not that time and place. Lubbock High School will have a new athletic coordinator and head football coach. Shane Stephen was named to the position today. He is currently the assistant head coach at Mansfield High School. For a more detailed look at his background, check out the web story on kcbd.com. Well, the South Plains Council of Boy Scouts will host a news conference to discuss its new family scouting model. Starting this year, families can sign up their sons and daughters for Cub Scouts. Dens will be single gender, boys or girls, while packs can be single gender or co-ed dens. The meeting is at 6 o'clock at the Boy Scouts office located at Briarcroft Office Park. That is near United Supermarkets off of 50th and Avenue Q. Recipients of the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or SNAP, might soon see half of their food stamps replaced. Last week, the Trump administration proposed to have part of SNAP benefits come in the form of food packages. KCBD News Channel 11's Amanda Ruiz has more information on this proposed change. Amanda?
Shaley, the administration proposed the idea of providing SNAP users with USDA food packages. According to the proposal, this will provide nutritional food, but also reduce taxpayers' pay. Users that earn more than $90 a month in SNAP benefits could receive part of it as stamps and the other as food box. The box would include items such as pasta, peanut butter, and vegetables, and would be delivered directly to those households. The goal is to save taxpayers money and to reduce food stamp fraud, an idea the CEO of the South Plains Food Bank would be interested to see.
It's an interesting idea. You know, I want to look at it. I think all food banks are interested in it. But I think we just look at the logistics of getting food in and distributed, especially as we go into our rural counties. And I'm not sure that you'd see a whole lot of cost savings.
The SNAP proposal will also tighten the reins on work expectations for able-bodied adults, with the goal of making sure those benefits go to the people who need them the most. Coming up at 6, we'll learn the idea of food boxes is nothing new for the South Plains Food Bank. Shaley?
Okay, thanks so much, Amanda. The Salvation Army's Community Resource Fair will kick off tomorrow. The event is taking place in the Worship Hall at 1111 16th Street from 1 o'clock until 3. In addition to free haircuts, there will also be representatives from community resources and programs who provide assistance, advice, support, and counseling. And tomorrow, Congressman Jody Arrington will be right here in the Hub City. He'll be hosting a news conference to discuss the ways the Tax Cut and Jobs Act will impact our West Texas families. The event will begin at 3:30 at the Happy State Bank location at 4411 98th Street. Still to come, we will take a look at the life and legacy of Reverend Billy Graham as preparations are now underway for his funeral. Plus, a social media giant is taking big steps to make sure you're not flooded with spam. And John will have your complete First Alert forecast coming up on News Channel 11 at 5. Today, House Speaker Paul Ryan announced the late Reverend Billy Graham will lie in honor in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda next week. The legendary evangelical minister and spiritual confidant to numerous presidents passed away yesterday at the age of 99. Meanwhile, preparations are underway for Graham's funeral in North Carolina. Victor Blackwell has those details. Okay, thanks so much. We have new details in last month's deadly Amtrak train crash in Virginia. A preliminary report states the truck hit by the train was already on the tracks after the gates were down. The accident happened as Republican members of Congress were headed to a retreat. The driver of the truck was the only person killed. Several others were injured. This is still an ongoing investigation. The Lubbock County Sheriff's Office is now warning people about phone scammers pretending to be deputies. Officials are warning the caller will tell the resident they have warrants out for their arrest and that a fine payment can be made over the phone. Officials say they will never notify anyone over the phone and demand money. The Lubbock County Sheriff's Office asks that if you receive one of these scam calls, notify them. Call them at 806-775-1601. Right now, Twitter says it's taking new steps to crack down on spam bots. Many companies use automated accounts and automated tweeting to keep feeds going at night and on the weekends. Twitter says users will no longer be allowed to post identical or extremely similar content across multiple accounts at once. The social media giant says it focuses on suspicious or abusive account behavior and tries to take proactive action of accounts in violation of its rules. 58,000 gas fire pits sold exclusively at Home Depot are being recalled after several reports of burns. The recall involves Hampton Bay's 50,000 BTU gas fire pit table patio heaters. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the base of the fire pits lack a protective heat shield. They were sold in stores and online from August to November of last year. For a look at those consumer alerts, we have them posted on our website, kcbd.com. According to AAA, gas prices in Texas are the lowest in the country. In a new report, the average cost of a gallon of gas here in the Lone Star State is $2.26. The cheapest gas was found in Fort Worth and Dallas, where drivers are paying about $2.15. But after checking gas prices on our KCBD News app, we found prices in the Hub City as low as $2.10. In 2016, 142,000 Americans died from either drug overdoses, suicides, or alcohol-related incidents. That is the highest number ever recorded. The sobering new information is from the Trust for America's Health. The main culprit, synthetic opioids. Opioid-related deaths doubled from 2015 to 2016. A government panel has recommended a new hepatitis B vaccine for adults, the first in 25 years. It uses an additive that boosts the body's immune system and is given in 2 shots over a month. Hepatitis B can cause serious damage to the liver and spread through contact with blood or other bodily fluids. The CDC must still review the recommendation before it can be added to a list of approved vaccines. There has been a spike in hepatitis B as the country continues to battle that ongoing opioid crisis.
This is the First Alert Forecast with Chief Meteorologist John Robinson.
Nice to see a little sunshine coming out in the West Texas area, and again, it's going to make for a beautiful sunset. These clouds will linger a little bit, but we're going to have some more of the lower level clouds making their way back into the Lubbock area and maybe out to the western South Plains as well, and they're still hanging in there in the eastern South Plains. That's why temperatures are so chilly along that Caprock, holding in the upper 30s or low 40s there compared to the 40s here in Lubbock and around 50 degrees. Let's take a look at temperatures. We'll start with Plainview, and just like an hour ago, holding in the 40s there. Taking a look, the current temperature there shows 46 degrees. It feels like 41. They do have partly cloudy skies, southwest wind at about 9 miles an hour. And again, we'll keep an eye on that dew point. And as far as Lubbock's conditions there, it is partly cloudy, 50 degrees. Feels like it because the winds are south, but only 11 miles an hour. We're keeping an eye again on that dew point coming in at 33 degrees. That's the moisture in the air. If that dries out a little bit tonight, that's going to allow those temperatures to fall. We're going to show you our wind cast and roll it through. It's not going to be anything significant until we get to Saturday. Winds will be variable throughout the time period. On Friday, generally out of the south at about 10 miles an hour. That'll help to bring warmer temperatures back in the region, especially western areas where it'll be a southwesterly wind. The problem will be on Saturday as those winds increase much stronger across our region. Now for your winter cast, might be a little more of that winter precipitation edging back in off of the Caprock. Now at 5 o'clock, just about as the computer model indicated, clouds just about the Caprock, although I think they're a little bit further back over the Crosbyton area, but they will filter back in along with some patchy fog overnight, low visibility, but we're keeping an eye on the very light precipitation that begins to return to the region earlier tonight, continuing through earlier tomorrow morning, and then dissipating in the afternoon. Now my green area here should have transferred on to the east. Precipitation will be gone by 3 o'clock, but at least it gives you an idea this is the area we're concerned with tomorrow morning based on how cold it gets there. There'll definitely be some drizzle, whether or not it's freezing. That may be more in the northern areas and northwestern South Plains where temperatures will be lower. And as far as your highs tomorrow, looking much better, just like today. Lubbock West, Plainview West, it'll be anywhere from 60 to 64 degrees. A little bit lower than that in Seminole, clouds hanging in there. But where the clouds hang in, it'll be much warmer than today, but a little cooler than Lubbock. 53 down in Snyder, 52 in Paducah, and these temperatures will really depend on the cloud cover. If those clouds hang around later in the day, I'm afraid it's going to be colder in this area, but right now being optimistic and hoping that most of the clouds at least move a little bit further east. by say 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, allowing that portion of the South Plains to warm up just like we're doing in Lubbock. 7-day forecast. In the morning, 31 degrees, about 62 tomorrow afternoon, looking pretty good. Strong winds coming back on Saturday. In fact, fire weather watch has been issued at this point. Fire danger will increase on Saturday along with the wind speeds. Temperatures should climb both Saturday and Sunday, and I don't think there it is. I didn't think my computer was going to respond, but it is. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., we'll go from the 30s, very windy conditions. See those wind speeds, and they may gust as high as 50 miles an hour, near 60 at 4 o'clock. And then Sunday morning, winds still gusty, but out of the northwest. In the 40s, then they'll diminish a little bit, but not a lot Sunday afternoon. Overall, a windy weekend, but dust and fire potential is going to be the greatest on Saturday. Then it gets mild just in time to start the week. Tuesday around 70 degrees, a little cooler with winds again strong on Wednesday, 64 degrees at that point. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like any significant chances of rain other than maybe drizzle or maybe some isolated freezing drizzle late tonight and tomorrow morning, Shaley.
Okay, thanks so much, John. Excitement is still swirling at the Olympics after a gold medal win for the U.S. women's hockey team. Your complete winter game coverage up next. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on NBC Nightly News. The Canadians have been dethroned. The USA women's hockey team ended a 20-year curse by beating the Canadians and earning gold medals during last night's thriller matchup.
I'm speechless. I'm emotional. I'm in shock. I just, like, 3 words that come to mind. Our team did this together, though. It was an unbelievable win by us.
The U.S. also defeated the Canadians in the curling semifinals, meaning for the first time in history, American men will play for curling gold. And coming up tonight, the ladies will try to pull miracles on ice in order to medal in figure skating. And KCBD will continue to bring you live Olympic coverage. The excitement begins right here at 7 o'clock tonight. A SpaceX rocket launched this morning from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The satellite is carrying an instrument to make radar images of the Earth for government and commercial use. The rocket is also carrying 2 small test satellites that could potentially provide internet to remote areas. Stay with us. We'll be right back with a final look at your forecast. We are seeing some sunshine on the South Plains, which is a nice change today.
It is, and hopefully it'll be back tomorrow. We're going to have some clouds kind of roll back in, Shaley, tonight and tomorrow. And then definitely got some sunshine coming up Saturday and Sunday. We're still going to hang around with some of the moisture overnight and early Friday through Friday afternoon, but then we get much drier conditions. The fire danger actually goes up Saturday. Temperatures won't change a lot, but at least they'll be closer to normal around the low 60s tomorrow.
All right, thanks, John. And thank you for joining us. That's all of our time, but the news continues with NBC Nightly News.